Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the review of WWE NXT, the relaunch of FCW under Triple H's image. Obviously, back then, it was viewed as a delicious thing, and by now, it just looks like the way Triple H wanted to gain the favour of the internet wrestling fans. But we're not at that stage yet. We're not even at the peak of what some would call NXT 2.0's not even. No, fuck. But nowhere near the black and gold, but we're definitely at the stage where we're starting to see what their like early scouting of the next big things were. Positioned quite highly now. Bo Dallas, Seth Rollins, Tyson Kidd. Some of the NXT stalwarts we come to know aren't even really a piece of the puzzle just yet. But the incoming Chris Hero. So there's always exciting stuff going on and always exciting acquisitions. But this is episode 3. It's July 4th, 2012. And yeah, do you have anything to say before we get into the actual card?
It's interesting to see also how I'm picky. If this is your first time watching I'm picky, and that was Ash. Yeah, I'm. It's very. I know I've probably said it before, but it's very fucking weird to see like actual good developmental, like not the show on ECW. It is like the magnum opus of one more match. Well, technically the Christian act would technically be it, but still. But like it's actually nice to see some actual good developmental again. It's
Yeah,
just
and
like
like equally, we're coming off the back of what. Well, I watched a shitload of NXT Redemption, which was the NXT season 5 ended, but they didn't want to do a new series of it, so they just kept a lot of the same people and brought back a ton of guys, and then just like shuffled like, oh, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil are still here. Oh, Derek Bateman's still here. Johnny Curtis is still here. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is just weird. I don't know what, like, clearly it wasn't working. So it was nice that they did repurpose NXT because it's cool. It's still a cool brand. It's still a cool like the yellow, the kind of young upstart developmental. It is cool and like yeah, just in comparison to NXT Redemption, it is worlds apart. It's fucking world. It's outrageously different. Like, but for me, I always used to watch it because they put it up on WWE.com, so you could watch it every Wednesday. I'd watch it like every Wednesday or Thursday morning after it was aired, because everything else was like region locked, and I wasn't paying for Sky, so fucking good luck actually watching SmackDown or Raw. And this was before I found the lovely, lovely sites that allow you to watch it for free that definitely are legal.
and
But
definitely
yeah,
won't give you
and
a
it was also
virus.
yeah, well, it's the risk you got to take. I got to see Hunico and Camacho. But it's one of those really cool things because like developmental is really important, and I mean, New Japan will always have kind of the proxy or the kind of like the monopoly on developmental because they have so many different dojos and so many people come up through the Young Lions system. So many prominent wrestlers now did come up through being young Lions. It's cool. It's a fucking cool system, and I mean, it works because it's Japan. But in like in Western wrestling, it's just not really. It was never really the big investment, and
I
it's
mean,
cool that it gets its own shows, especially comparing it to, as I said before, the previous developmentals being FCW and fucking NXT. So
I
it's a
mean,
cool it's a cool way to be able to take it seriously.
as I was going to say, the only real developmental that I know there was technically OVW, but the big one in the
I
90s
mean,
was.
that's also the other biggest and most successful developmental.
Yeah, yeah, and the other one I was going to mention was obviously the power plant that WCW had, where you got
Yeah,
Goldberg, Sean O'Hare, you got Mark Jindrak, and you got like Chuck
yeah, yeah.
Palumbo.
Sean Stasiak.
Like that. Well, the fact they got Sean O'Hare is fucking mental. Like, but what I mean by that is when you look at like Goldberg,
Biggie's
Sean
fighting his way to not gush about
Sean O'Hare.
Sean O'Hare for 10 hours.
But like when you look at comparison of Goldberg and then Sean Stasiak and you have Sean O'Hare, it's like chalk and cheese. But like yeah, the power plant was probably the biggest example, and then OVW because WWE didn't really have a developmental in the 90s because Vince was
Yeah.
struggling for money. I put that in quotations because by
Yeah,
night,
it was mostly just heat or like, and even then they did lend their like developmental kind of to just doing tough enough, and that was their developmental in a way, which I still kind of want to rewatch a bunch of old tough enough, but also I don't because I don't know. I like watching it as a teenager. It's hot shit. Like, oh my fucking god! Whoa, she's cheating on a partner. Whoa, what the fuck? But then you watch it slightly older, and you're like, oh, it's just a bit garbage, isn't it?
I
It's
mean,
just a bit shit.
my problem with Tough Enough, I've not seen much Tough Enough. I've obviously seen the Triple H clip where he's chewing his gum like, "You're not hanging out in your short, kid." But like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
but like, I
Well, it just progressively gets weirder and weirder, right?
yeah,
Because the first like 3 seasons are actually proper, and you do get some cool like tough enough talent. You get Kenny King, he's on fucking early tough enough. That's kind of cool.
Maven,
You obviously get Nydia, you get Maven,
right back.
you get yeah, you get fucking Ryback, you get the Miz, you get like you get a bunch of these kind of intriguing. Luke Gallows was technically on Tough Enough, the Boogeyman technically on Tough Enough, lying about his age when he was 40 years old, doing the Virgil, um, and
Powerhouse
like,
Hobbs.
but like, yeah, apparently, but I don't know, like it's a cool. Basically, I loved it as a kid, and I don't know how it would hold up now, but it was kind of unprecedented of saying, look, here's an hour, and you're actually in front of a proper crowd. You're wrestling for the hard cam. You're wrestling properly with a production, with commentators, with a lot of people around to help you learn. And whether people actually take that help is different entirely because wrestlers are egotistic cunts, but
I mean,
still it's a really big opportunity, and it's so cool. It's why early NXT is so cool because so many of the main event talent now started their WWE careers in NXT, and I feel like we all like to be in the know before something gets big, or at least me. Maybe I'm a bit of like a hipster twat, but like I love to see the diamond in the rough and point it out and be like, oh fuck, I called that. I've seen it from the start, even though the start's not even the start of their wrestling career. It's from their WWE career. I called it from the start because we all like to think we have good judges of talent.
what I will say is about Tough Enough before we start the NXT. Like seeing Triple H on it is fair enough, but because obviously he's just chewing his gum, he's just like your shit. But like in comparison, when you look at who else they fucking had as like Tough Enough judges, you had Hager, Holly, and
It hasn't
Benoit.
aged well.
What to say?
It hasn't aged well, to be fair. A lot of the judges build them up, bully, Hulk
Benoit.
Holly, touted as a bully. So yeah, was Benoit even there? I don't
Benoit.
remember.
Well, no, Benoit would. There was one episode.
Obviously, it was there. Obviously, he wasn't a big judge, but it was like the main cast is essentially Al Snow, Ivory,
Yeah,
Bob Holly, Bill DeMott,
and
those
then
sorts. But then you would get the occasional like guest
yeah,
appearance
he was a
from the
guest
bigger wrestlers
appearance.
like Triple H.
But the problem I have is Triple H is fair enough to get as a guest host or a guest like person for Tough Enough. Benoit would be fucking terrifying because that man is so passionate about wrestling. Like I would not like to even try and fuck up a flat back bump because that'd be horrifying. But like yeah, having Holly and shit is a lot harder as well because Holly's obviously has his ways of wrestling in quotations. So like if you intentionally do
I
anything,
mean, like, he went to the Heart School of fucking
yeah,
stretch him, fuck him up.
yeah. So it's very weird, but yeah.
But it's not like he was just beating the fuck out of him.
No,
Like
he wasn't
even the
big.
big scandal with the guy in season 3 or 4, where he did kind of kick the shit out of him, but also it's reality TV show, guys. It's not fucking that real. Like, yeah, sure, maybe his nose was a bit busted, but he didn't fucking destroy him. Like,
Yeah, but I'm
it's
just
within
saying,
reason,
have
but still, it's a weird thing. I got a soft spot for it. Maybe one of these days I'll rewatch it and fucking make some content about it.
yeah. But now you can start with NXT if you want. Just be careful with Holly as your fucking like supervisor and Tough Enough. He's going to tell you what to do. But yeah, start with NXT. Who do we open up with?
Yeah, we open up with a match against Sophia Cortez against at this time the nation, well, soon to become the nation's sweetheart Paige. Um, I also have Sophia Cortez, who's most famously known for being Evilise. She was in Lucha Underground. She was in the trios tag team with Son of Havoc and Angelico, and had that kind of, and she had a fucking baller match with Bill Muertes where they teased her becoming world champion, which was fun. She also was in AEW for a time period. She teamed with Diamante, and ultimately, she was also on Tough Enough season 5, I think. Yeah, I think she was on season 5 too. So she's kind of got that. But also, at the end of the day, she also has something of a reputation, and the reputation is being a little bit hard to work with. But well. But yeah, I believe she was on season 5 and she fucked up her leg, which is also an absolute fucking staple of Evalise's career, as she continues to fuck up that leg every single injury she has. But yeah, the weird bit about this is, judging from where it started, obviously this is Paige, what, Soraya Bevis? Bevitt? Yeah, that's a very British
Beavis,
name. Obviously, Soraya Jade Beavis,
Beavis,
I don't know,
Beaver.
Butthead, one of them. Obviously she started wrestling when she was 14. She was wrestling with the. I mean, let's be honest. Oh, what's a very nice word to say about the fucking Knight family? Um,
Trashy cunt.
allegedly, the most carny wrestling fuckers you ever met. Essentially,
Basic,
that's That's the
basically,
Knight family. Yes, they had that movie made about them, and they had Nick Frost as the dad, and it made the Knights look all funny. Fucking all the stories suggest otherwise. But still, I mean, this is her. She's what, like fucking 18? Something here. She's like 21. She's super young.
she's 18. She wins the belt and she's 21. Like she wins the actual Divas Championship at 21. Like what people don't know is she's only like in her early 30s now, which might surprise
Yeah,
people.
she's
But
still
she's
really young.
like it's like AJ Lee in a sense, because people go, oh, AJ Lee's in her 40s. No, she's only in her fucking early 30s, the mid 30s.
Yeah, like wrestling managed to get there super young and like had a stellar career as a like young person, and then obviously through time, with it be injury or would it be getting jaded with the fucking show? Like, they did just go super early. But yeah, so this
Just
match is. Mm,
just want to say, also Paige allegedly hangs out with a piece of shit of a husband. So yeah, there you go.
yep, isn't she not with him anymore?
Oh, is she not? Oh, I
Didn't they
thought
get
she still was.
divorced?
Oh, I thought they were still together.
Like, I don't think she's with Ronnie Radker anymore.
Ah, damn.
So update your fucking facts, you fucking idiot.
Fair enough.
Um, yeah, she's out of the relationship with him, but
Fair enough. Just nice.
very toxic. But also is a wrestler, so wrestlers will be wrestlers. But yeah, so this one's different though. This one is more or less a squash match. Sofia Cortez wins with a pretty sick like wheelbarrow DDT. That was fucking cool. That was pretty sick, honestly. It's a cool little spin out. I thought it was sick. She looks good, and Paige also gained a lot of eyes in kind of in being there. But would it surprise you? Evilise is sacked in about a couple months, or maybe even just 1 month. She's gone soon. So if you're getting excited, ready to get your Sophia Cortez merch, yeah, maybe don't. Maybe hold the phone, because she is not fucking staying.
Who is that wrestler who ACH who just lasted like a month and got left? I thought it's
Yeah,
the same kind of thing. I forget what his name was in NXT. Jason Miles.
it was like my Miles Born or something like that.
Yeah, just there you go. That's
Jordan Miles. There we
Jordan.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
D-
That one was that was a time. That was a very strange time. Um,
but that's just That's
The
gonna be like
less
it's
said about that stuff, the better. To be fair, it's outrageous behaviour
just
on all accounts.
that's gonna be like a Sophia Cortez match. Just leave it there. Leave it. Just push it to the side.
Just hold up on buying it all. But
But
yeah, so Sophia Cortez looked pretty good. Anything else you want to say about this match?
it's very weird seeing young Paige. Like it's very weird. Like because like the fact that she's only like in her 30s now, I always thought she was old. Like I thought she was generally like fucking like 40, but she's only like 30 now, which is mental. And I'm 22 reviewing a fucking
She has just had such a kind of cursed career in a way,
yeah.
because she starts off really early. Then I don't remember the exact timeline. Then has to retire for a time period after becoming like bona fide talent, like genuine one of the better women's wrestlers. Didn't really get to kind of benefit from. She was in the period where they had like when WWE decided that they created women's wrestling and they fixed it. They fixed the problem that they made with the women's revolution. Um, and yeah, sure, she did get to the kind of dine out on a lot of that success, but she also had to retire a little bit too early on in comparison. And then you had all the fucking issues with sobriety and then fucking getting into dodgy relationships with dodgy men. Like, and then she has a little AEW run and she did become world champion, didn't she?
If you wanted that all in 2023 from memory.
And yeah, and then she just kind of fell out of favor. And now she's on the sidelines again, despite being fully fit and able to wrestle. Like, her neck's fine, but she was even angling for like a Rumble return, but fucking nobody wants it, and I can't really understand why. Like, she's still young, she's recovered from all the injuries, she's still genuinely really fucking talented, and I don't know, just got a lot of really dodgy baggage, which probably some is her making, but some's just really bad fucking like unfortunate shit. Like obviously the leaks, like it's not her fucking fault. Like just bad shit has happened. She probably has made some bad choices, but fucking the shit she can control, I don't know. Like there are a lot worse people in wrestling who have way more opportunities.
Marty Skrull.
Um, and I suppose that's my piece on that. But
The
hey, at
bun.
least here we do get to see the rise of Paige in
Yeah.
WWE, and obviously her and is it not just her and Charlotte? That's the build. We get some Summer Rae, who doesn't last particularly long, but that we slowly tick forward, and that I'm looking forward to because, I mean, let's be honest, on this channel we've not really gotten to watch much. We've not really gotten to watch that much of good women's wrestling. Like it's just been, here's Kelly. She's gonna do a flip boss wearing 6-inch stiletto heels. Like, oh yeah, great. Sound. I'm so glad I've decided to watch 2000s WWE.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next match we get Seth Rollins taking on Tongaloa, or Camacho as he was known then. And the only real interesting bit with Hunico, Seth Rollins wins, but Hunico like tries to interfere, but Camacho runs into Hunico, and then he gets the stomp to win. But then after the bell, Camacho and Hunico batter Seth, and out comes Bo Dallas to even up the scores. Seth doesn't really know who to trust, but he feels, and then this obviously sets up the main event later on this evening with two more people in tow. But honestly, there's not really much to talk about this. Seth Rollins is still really good, has some really cool moves. Honestly, I'm kind of sad that some of the moves that he does then doesn't happen now. Like he had his, I think it's called the did he call it the Avada Kedavra or whatever the fuck? His like little cool. There was like a thrust kick into something. Basically, there's a lot of moves he doesn't do now. Like he did a pretty cool like leg lariat, but then obviously now he has dodgy knees, so fair enough.
He went to the
Fair
Rey
enough.
Mysterio school of dodgy knees.
Can't really blame him. Like the ACL tears are hard to get back from. So what the fuck can you do? But we were just talking about Camacho, and we were talking about obviously he's in WWE now as Tonga Loa, and his reputation's raised because he was part of like what of God, what the fucking Gorillas of Destiny or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah, Gorillas of
with
Destiny.
Tama Tonga,
Bullet Club.
and he got this kind of like cult following because people really like the tag matches. But then you quickly realize, fucking, never put him in a singles match. Never put him in like the only man to somehow be put in a match with Okada and still be fucking garbage. So it's outrageous. Fucking, and obviously the punches and the little like corner, like doing some of these,
I,
like
I,
it lives in infamy.
I will add, and I am sort of a Tongaloa fan in a sense because he's so shit. Like I was going to say he's the Chris Harris of tag teams. Like I know Chris Harris was in a tag
Chris
team.
Harris is better.
Yeah, but Chris Harris is like if we're comparing Tongaloa and Chris Harris is the fucking John Cena, and Tongaloa is the Marty Jannetty. But like, fucking, uh, it's so weird.
He's
It's
so
so
shit.
weird to
It's
look.
outright. Like, and the worst bit as well. That's the bit that I somehow don't really understand. Mate, he's been a wrestler for like the last 15 years. He's not gotten any better. Or at least if he is, it's really small, like small units. I don't understand.
It's what's the word I'm fucking looking for? It's just weird in a sense because he generally could, like, if he improved, people would look at him more fondly.
Yeah, but he's not improving though, is he? He's
I
been
know,
wrestling
I
since
know.
2009.
I know, but what I'm saying is, if he actually improved, people would look more at him a bit more fondly than just he does shit punches and it's sort of funny to laugh at. Like it's generally just when you look at him now, people don't look at him as a good wrestler. They look at him in irony and they look at him as like he is shit, but I like him because he's shit. They don't go,
But he
oh, he's
also
a good
went to the
wrestler.
Luke. He went to the Luke Gallows school of somehow he manages to just keep getting that fucking contract. I don't know. Like
I mean,
he went to New Japan, where obviously there's a bunch of family there, and they got family there, and so therefore fuck it. You have a job, you have a career, and then he goes to WWE shortly after Roman Reigns has just made the Bloodline one of the most recognizable stables of the last like decade. Suddenly, all the fucking like members of the like Samoan family do have contracts, which
uh,
fair enough. A lot of them are very talented. Tonga Loa is not one of them.
you forgot the greatest fucking bloodline member ever. The greatest where are they from? Hawaii. Um, yeah, you forgot about the greatest one, which is obviously Jeff Cobb. So, my favorite bloodline member of the bloodline family, Jeff fucking Cobb.
See, I just wanted it to be really funny and meta. I wanted Samoa Joe to be a part of the family just because it's funny.
CM Punk does on I know this probably dates it a little bit, but on a Raw leading up to WrestleMania 42, he does go. I'm not even gonna call you by your real name because his real name's obviously Joe Awani, and he's like, I'm not gonna call you Joe because the
And
greatest
why?
Joe I work because I worked with a great guy called Joe, and then Roman's like, yeah, but I bet he'll call me Tribal Chief, and I'm like, fuck's that supposed to mean? Yeah, I bet your dad would call me by my actual name during sex. All right, like. Just yeah, but Samoa Joe would be a great member of the Bloodline family. Obviously, he is the best Samoan. So yeah, continue on
But
there.
yeah, next up we do have a tag match, which they have been quite frequent, but we get the kind of some of the early signs of the tag wrestlers where we do have a team who were teamed together in FCW, and you have Corey Graves and Jake Carter. Jake Carter's only interesting because he's Vader's son, which is crazy. Like I don't know. The mum must have all those genetics are from the mum. Doesn't look a fucking lick like Vader, but maybe Vader was just handsome before he got big and fat. I don't know.
I mean the
Legend,
aesthetic,
legend. But love you, Vader, by the way. Not shitting on him.
the aesthetic of Vader is he's fat and fucking huge, Like, and he's scary. You don't fuck with him.
He's scary as fuck.
Yeah, yeah. But when you look at like Jade Parker or whatever his name is,
Uh, Jake Carter.
oh, Jake Carter. When you fucking look at Jake Carter, you're like, you've none of Vader's like. You have none of Vader's abilities. Like, I don't mean to be like mean, but Vader fucking
I mean,
wrestled.
don't worry. WWE didn't really think he had those abilities too much, as he's gone by 2013.
Just when you look at it, Jake Carter, like Vader, fucking wrestled with one eyeball while his other one was hanging out of his eye socket. Fucking well respected wrestler. Ignore 2016, where instead of putting Will Ospreay over, he put himself over. But anywho, well respected wrestler, like everyone loves him. Uh, like huge presence. Jake Carter holds nothing. He holds nothing in comparison, which is a shame. I don't want to say he's like the David Flair of his family, but fuck me, he is the David Flair of that family.
I mean,
Because
he tried to have a career, probably got the contract because he is Vader's kid, but ultimately couldn't hack it and did the old trajectory of NFL player to or college football player to WWE star, and it didn't work. So just how it is. So yeah, Jake Carter and Corey Graves taking on CJ Parker and Nick Rogers. We talked about CJ Parker before, and Nick Rogers is a fucking unknown, and I'm usually quite good at remembering all the names of these like shitty little wrestlers who appeared, but nothing, absolutely nothing. They win. Jake Carter and Corey Graves win with a cool little like power slam into like a I don't know, like Corey like follows the suplex in or whatever. I don't know. It's a cool finish, and we're slowly starting to establish the tag division, which is also quite fun. But yeah, time will tell. You like Corey Graves a lot.
yeah, I've said it multiple times. I might have not watched a lot of Corey Graves matches, but I've definitely watched I've definitely played as him a shit ton on 2K15 on the Xbox 360 version. So I
Yeah.
fucking just I loved him. He was like phenomenal. Like yeah, I know he had to retire early, but had the theme, had the look, fucking hell, he was brilliant. Like I understand he's retired and he's happily retired and he is shagging Carmella. I think like living the best life.
Happily married.
Yes, that's what I said. Um, but like fucking hell, he's fantastic. Um, it's a shame he didn't do more in wrestling, but he seems to be content with just being a commentator, which is fair enough. But at the same time, you do go, please, Rumble appearance, please, because that's all I want. It's just him to come out at a Rumble, surprise, do his few spots, get thrown out, and then just kind of, if you want to do a mania match, do a mania match with him, and then just let him retire. Guess. But yeah, I love Corey Graves. He's one of the real reasons why I was excited to watch this, because he's only here for a good, I believe, a year or so, and then he has to retire because of concussions, I believe, or neck injuries.
Yeah, he's one of the. I mean, it's a big shame during the 2010s because you had so many wrestlers who would just be concussed and like unable to keep wrestling. Like, I mean, you even like had other rumors like suggesting about like the same sort of thing with Adam Cole, but like just stuff like this where so many promising like young wrestlers would kind of reach the concussion protocol and then suddenly they're just not allowed to wrestle anymore, which it feels such a shame, especially for like a wrestler like Corey Graves, because I mean, right now he doesn't necessarily have the look, but he fucking gets there. He fucking gets there, and it's a shame because he didn't really have the room to grow. I didn't really like him too much personally, but like I don't know, the look's fucking cool. The styling's pretty cool. The tats are pretty sick, and the theme does become an absolute fucking banger. So yeah, it is a shame, but ultimately just another kind of I don't know. Wrestling is tragic in a very own way because so many people who should probably have the better career end up never really having it for whatever reason it may be. So,
I
but
mean,
ultimately, it's a good first impression here.
I think around the same time, I think Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah,
had to retire for now in 2012. It was either 2011 or 2012 because I think he had hepatitis B,
yeah.
and concussions, which no one really went. Yeah, don't wrestle again, Nigel. It's just sad again because he was supposed to be in WWE. Don't know what he would have
Yeah.
done, but again, he retired around this time. Trying to think of who else was a promising person who had to retire early, and
I mean, even you just have like the names you kind of mentioned briefly, where you do have Daniel Bryan after his like peak of the powers, ascending, had to retire temporarily. Still have Paige as the example, but there are a ton of like Richie Steamboat has to retire unceremoniously after only a couple years of wrestling. Like a lot of wrestlers, like it's like sports, right? Sometimes you just get an injury and then you're done. Like it's hard to recover from. Like ACLs are notoriously hard to recover from, and it just changes how you function. And yeah, it's some people never really make that kind of jump, but yeah, it's just like I said, it's a pretty tragic industry, and there's no like the issue with wrestling is there is no like after plan. Like if you are if people like you and you are like a part of the team, yeah, sure, maybe you'll become like a trainer, but unless you're training for AEW or WWE, you're not making any money. So yeah, it's just a shame. Do you become like a referee? Like that's not really what anybody wants to do. So yeah, it's just there is no after plan. And like yeah, sure, technically people will get put on like legends contracts, but fucking we will try and make as much money off you, and we will give you a little bit of support. Any support on like maybe they give us support with like rehab, but other than that, it's a very lonely industry. And yeah, it's the kind of weird thing as well, where so many people will like hold even wrestlers who are absolutely kind of destroyed by WWE will still hold WWE in like a really big light just because of that idea that maybe one day this is like the olden example. Maybe one day Vince will give you the call and you're gonna come back, and it's just kind of like a I'm not calling it Stockholm syndrome,
it is.
but it is Stockholm syndrome in a way. It's like the amount of like 80s wrestlers who are like, "Oh, if I get the call, I'm coming back." Like, what? But dude, but it's 20 years removed. Like, it's not happening. Yeah, well,
Like I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, the 80s wrestlers, like the biggest example around this time is Bruno Sammartino and Ultimate Warrior. Well, I know Ultimate Warrior is not till next year, but yeah, famously they come back after years of being like, "Fuck you, Vince." But yeah, then you have people like the Honky Tonk Man. I'm not going into the Hall of Fame. That's shit. And then it's like, "Oh, Honky, we gonna put you in the Hall of Fame." Oh, do you? Yeah, yeah,
I always wanted to be in the Hall of Fame.
yeah. But
Yeah, it's a really big shame, and like so many people it's like the amount of wrestlers. Like, yeah, sure, technically it's not their job that you're not supposed to care, but equally in the same way, these wrestlers have destroyed their bodies for you.
yeah,
And a lot of them like I mean even a bunch of the wrestlers who like got into really bad health, like Perry Saturn got into really bad health for a long time. Balls Mahoney got into super bad shape. Like so many wrestlers just they never get the
China.
aftercare as such. China. And you would think that like it's a sacrifice, right? They all make sacrifices, and yeah, sure, they are still profiting at the end of the day. They're still getting paid a salary and a downside guarantee. But when they leave, there's no one there to really catch them, unless maybe they do get the Legends contract, or they're known enough to get figures or get booked for appearances. But like, I mean, it's why the fuck do you reckon a bunch of these like not so prominent wrestlers? Why do you reckon a lot of them are becoming YouTubers? Because that just feels like the way forward. Because at some point you can't wrestle anymore. You got to find something else to do, and nobody really wants to fully hang up the boots.
I do just want to end it here by saying I still find it a disgrace among whatever that China was never like, because Macho Man. So if you don't know the story, Macho Man for years didn't really want to return to WWE, but then he basically mended those bridges, and sadly he unfortunately passed. But China never really got that, and that always upset me. The fact that the minute, well, I know they waited like 3 years. The minute China died, they were like, "We fucking love China. China's a phenomenal wrestler." Like, you could have protected her while she was alive, you cunt. Fuck you. Like it just wound me up. So the minute like she's dead, they're like, oh yeah, we always loved China, didn't we? We always loved her. It's like she was just a tragic
Yeah,
woman. What the fuck do you mean? Like,
it's
and
just so brutal, honestly.
yeah, and then it's like the stupid fact that they don't induct her into the Hall of Fame by herself because of those videos she made. Um, if you know, you know. And it's just sad in hindsight, which I wish just China was given that fucking like Macho Man like appearance where she could just like even if she didn't want to, could just pretend to like hug Vince or Triple H. Well, maybe not Triple H, but
And yeah, it's such a shame that it's like, and equally it's the double, like, it's the double nature where it's like, oh, we always loved China, she was always good. It's like, fuck you, like, fuck you. Like, yeah, you're saying it to save your skin now, but fuck you. Like,
it's
it's insane.
it's one of the like it is one of the most heartbreaking things. It's pretty much China's story, and then obviously Ashley Massaro's story, and then Daphne as well. Just
Yeah,
tragic stories, honestly.
just so many wrestlers were just failed by WWE, and the amount, then like the sacrifice you make to be a wrestler, and like equally, it can stunt your family, it can destroy families. Like, you're on the road 200 to like 300 days a year, and you're just expected to give this up. And like, yeah, sure, you do get the rare moments where you have like basically you have the wrestlers who will consistently like always carry water for WWE, like Mark Henry, for example, where he'll always say, look, Vince was always good to me, and a lot of these wrestlers will still have these moments where the company was nice to them. I mean, it's like Maven's example when, like, when both he either broke his leg and also when his like mum passed. Like, they did support him, but equally, when you stop making the money, they don't care, and
Yeah.
that's the real sad bit. Like, I get it; they are employers technically. You're getting paid for your job. You don't, like, if they had to fucking save every wrestler who went down a bad path, they'd be fucking losing a shitload of money. But it's yeah, it's just a shame. Just a shame, really.
But what's the next match?
After that bleak fucking tale. But it's just wrestling, though. Wrestling's a fucked up industry, and people are fucked up when they go into wrestling, and they're fucked up when they leave wrestling. So it's a,
Yeah.
it's a terrible place. But hey, Corey Graves was good in this match, and honestly, he's the only one in this match at this time period who's gonna go on to do anything of any sort of notice. So yeah, we do get a new debut, though. A new debut that we've been teased. Cassius Ono, who is Chris Hero of Kings of Wrestling fame. And see, he has the weird framing of this is they do a promo in a way. They frame it like he's Charles Manson, like the famous like criminal with the Manson family. Like, they frame it like that because he has the long hair and the beard. And it's essentially his whole shtick is, I'm Cassius Ohno and I knock people out. And that part is fine. That part's fine. But some of the other, and it's NXT. Everybody needs catchphrase. Dusty loves catchphrases. Vince loves catchphrases. Put something on the shirt. Fantastic. But
Charles
he takes on
Manson.
Mike Dalton. Hmm?
Charles Manson of the Beach Boys fame.
But Mike Dalton, he's slowly morphing into Tyler Breeze, as we'll come to see the gears starting to get more like it. The like bleached, like blonde, kind of peroxide hair. Like, he's slowly starting to get the pieces into being the Tyler Breeze character, as I come to fucking love that character fully. But yeah, Cash Sono wins. This match feels longer than it is, but it ends with the fucking fantastic like spinning discus lariat or spinning discus elbow, and Chris Hero gets on the microphone and says, "My name's Cassius Ohno. I knock people out." As I said before, that's still a banger line. And then he says, "When people see me coming, they go, 'Oh no!'" It's like, all right, that's wank. That line is wank. But can't blame him for he delivers it well. He delivers it well at least. But the line is wank. So stop saying that, and it's fine. But yeah, a good debut for Cassius Ohno. once again, another kind of tale of a wrestler who never really flourished in WWE, but his legacy precedes it regardless, so it's not even that big of a deal. All your first impressions of Chris Hero in WWE?
Ooh, my camera's slow. No.
No, it's fine.
My thoughts on Chris Hero. As you know, I'm a big Chris Hero fan. You know, I fucking love Chris Hero. Loved his NXT UK run, which I know doesn't last long because of the pandemic, but fuck me, was a fantastic. Um, but if you don't know his NXT UK run, he basically just beats people up and proves that he's the best European wrestler, despite him being American, which is just so funny. I don't know who he fights because I can't think of for the life of me who he fights. But yeah, um, but I love Chris Hero and Castizono, a fantastic wrestler from the noughties and early 2010s. It's a shame again, like the Corey Graves situation where he is retired now. It is just sad.
I
Like
mean,
the,
he did have a pretty long
it
career.
did, no,
Let's be real.
he did to be fair, but it is just a shame he's retired. Like he never really got that like big final
He
match.
didn't really get the big moment as
Yeah,
such. Like he was too late to the party to get the AW kind of run, and even in that same way, when he was in WWE, when he returned for that like little, but I mean, he did return for 4 years. Bloody hell! I didn't realize he was there for that long. But yeah, then he gets like, then he gets done in like, then he gets budget cut during the pandemic. But yeah, I see. At least I'm relatively. I feel a little bit better knowing he did at least wrestle a good chunk of time in WWE towards the end. But yeah, it just kind of pandemic derailed everything. Gets deeper than becoming a coach for AW, and then that's where he resides now. And that's what he does now. So fair enough. It's a good, I mean, I'll always say this: the new generations of if you have fucking Claudio Castagnoli, you have like Brian Danielson, like the amount of wrestlers who will fucking who possibly, if they actually want to become like coaches or trainers or producers, like fucking hell,
I do.
it's gonna be good.
I do want to just say because you're on about wrestlers, it reminds me of the story of John Moxley. Obviously, I don't know if you know this, but at the time of recording this, the last Blood and Guts match for the women's match, John Moxley was making like makeshift like blades for the women.
He was making the blades for him, yeah.
Yeah, fucking he must be fantastic to hang around with. Just fucking, you want a gig, do you? I'll show you how to gig. Obviously,
Yeah.
obviously, if you need someone to gig easy for you, Ilya Dragunov. There you go. Immediately, it's just Ilya.
Yeah, but he will always just do it the hard way. So
Yeah, no,
he
no.
doesn't even know how to do a blade. He just lets people beat fuck out of him.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, all you have to do if you're in a first blood match with Ilya is just hit him there, and he'll fucking immediately.
Gushing immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, as for, I
Or do
think
you?
it's a good debut match for me personally. I really enjoyed it, and the only like real annoyance is just the fact it's just that shit catchphrase. It's just the like, I get it, KO, fine. I don't mind the name. Cassius is, it's a strong name to be fair, so I kind of fuck with it, and I'm interested to see where it goes. And equally, Mike Dalton, I mean, he's a fucking hell of a squash match connoisseur. He's really good at getting the shit beaten out of him. And I kind of made this point as we were watching, but at this point in time, especially in NXT, we do start to see a lot more like strikes as finishers, which for a while it would never really be a thing. They'd never really angle for knockouts or anything. But as we get to see a big influx of wrestlers who, have backgrounds like, you will eventually have Tommy End who goes into Aleister Black, we get a lot more wrestlers with a more like striking background, like Japanese wrestlers coming into WWE. So we do get a bunch more like striking like strong style type wrestlers, and that kind of ushers in for a fucking way more interesting like set of finishes, because for a while in WWE it's like, oh, what is he gonna do? Flatliner. It's like, fucking hell. Oh, what's he gonna do? Jumping flatliner. It's like, okay. Oh, what's he gonna do? Spinning flatliner. It's like, fucking hell. Can someone do a fucking punch or something? Oh, the Big Show does a punch. Like, all right, fucking hell. Like it's a real influx of like a bunch of cool new inventive moves, and Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. We do get another Bray Wyatt promo, and it is hard to talk around all the Bray Wyatt promos because essentially the whole point of the Bray Wyatt promo is I'm scary. What are people gonna do when they see me? Run. Be scared of the monster under your bed. That sort of shit. But equally, I fucking love them. They are. These early promos of Bray Wyatt are fucking tremendous. The music, I fucking love the entrance theme. I love early Bray Wyatt. I love the character. I adore the fucking. I don't know. It's just that southern like fucking like preacher from the fucking bayou. You could imagine him feeding cunts to alligators. You know what I mean? Like fucking. Oh, it's great. I love it. I
I
fucking love it.
love.
I love these promos. I think he's tremendous.
If people don't know, I obviously I've never seen his NXT run, but I got into wrestling around the time Bray Wyatt was feuding with Kane, and that was honestly my first ever real feud I've seen. Was the Wyatt family versus Kane, which I know Ash is probably saying you poor bastard, but genuinely, like I was a fan of Bray Wyatt when I was a kid, and even as an adult, I always think of like if I ever was to get like a shoulder tattoo. I know people would go. I know I've made it clear I've never get an actual like person's face on my body because that's just weird. Like to get an actual human
Yes.
being. Fictional character's fine, but human being's weird. I've always said if I was getting a shoulder tattoo, I would want to try and get a man with a lantern, like just a silhouette of a man with a lantern, because I fucking love Bray Wyatt and I think he's phenomenal. But I did describe to Ash that his promos, if you put Red
Oh,
Hot,
like he slowly finds the fucking he slowly finds the line.
I did, yeah. And I did say to Ash that if you did put Red Hot Chili Peppers like instrumentals to his promos, you would get a Chili Peppers song because because if you don't know, his promos are
It's
basically
nonsense. It's fucking nonsense.
yeah, because he's basically like, look, man, when I was
Look,
in the
man.
woods, man, I saw a tree, man, and that tree looked at me and said, Jehovah's, I am your witness, and you, Undertaker, I'm gonna fuck you up.
I looked in the tree's eyes, man. Oh, the tree said, "Run." It's like fucking. Oh, what's it like? Fucking. Like, but I love it still because it's so different. It's so unique, and like equally as well. It's. I mean, once again, also another fucking tragic tale in
Yeah,
wrestling. But like, this man about 2 months ago was called Husky Harris.
yeah.
Like, imagine the fucking step up. The step up of Husky Harris. His nickname was a fucking tank with a Ferrari engine. It was garbage. It was fucking garbage. And it didn't work, but he went into the weeds and went into the fucking with Dusty and like in NXT found this fucking cool character. Like, if you think of these sorts of characters, you think of like, the original like what Waylon Mercy, that sort of stuff, where it was just what like a betrayal of I think it was a De Niro character in one of his movies, and like you take these sort of like dark kind of spooky like cult leaders in a way, it's a cool thing. And even just the trajectory through it, he does the stuff with the Fiend and does that run, that also a generational run. Like, yes, it may not exactly have fit in that time period because, yes, maybe the Fiend or the Bray Wyatt matches were never the best, but it's kind of like The Undertaker in its own right, where it doesn't really fucking matter because everything else about it is excellent. And it's so cool to see like the humble beginnings, but yeah, it's equally as sad to know how it ends, really.
It's yeah, it's sad looking at Wyatt knowing. Sad. I don't want to like be a Debbie Downer, but it's sad to see that he doesn't make it past his 30s.
I mean, he's the age of 36.
Yeah, he died like around the same age Eddie Guerrero died, which is just fucking heartbreaking. Um, but I know like they never really do the like tribute packages anymore. But if I heard fucking Three Doors Down, because I don't know if you know the famous promo package, well the tribute package of Eddie Guerrero, where it's 3 doors down, I'm here without you, baby. If I fucking heard, I know it would not fit Bray Wyatt, but if I fucking heard that for Bray Wyatt, I'd be there in tears. I'd be crying because when Bray Wyatt died and when Luke Harper died, aka Brody Lee, that was my equivalent of Eddie Guerrero passing because I was like, fucking hell, they're too young. Why have they passed? And it's extremely sad, and I do get upset every time. Like I think about like, fucking hell, you could have still been here. you could have still been something. But it's just a shame. And then the alleged falling out he had with Vince, or those alleged stuff that happened, and then his brought back, and he only really gets to do one match before he gets sidelined again, and then ultimately passes. Is tragic, but fucking hell, do I love his promos? Do I love it?
I
Like
mean,
I get,
he really built out a really impressive legacy at the end of the day. And like, yeah, sure, there were a couple of really dodgy ones. Like, I'll always remember the fucking. I think his last match was
yeah,
the
yeah.
Mountain Dew fucking
Mountain Dew
not lights out,
pitch
but
black
like
match.
the Mountain Dew pitch black match with LA Knight, which
Yeah,
I mostly just remember because I was drinking cider during it, and I had mad heartburn and got hiccups about halfway through, and that killed the show for me. I went, fuck this, I'm not watching this shit. I'm going to bed because I had hiccups for like a straight hour, and I was just sick of it. But yeah, like the end wasn't great, but once again, the peaks are high, and I will say, in a way, at least they truly did. At least they truly did end up kind of honoring everything, and I think even now with tributes, I think at least the legacy will continue to be kind of maintained. And like even then, it's not like he had a bad career either. You know, he fucking started out as Husky Harris, ends as like a multi-time world champion, and there's like I feel like you could point out multiple different iterations of it. Like there's so many cool clips. You always see the clip of like fucking his tag match with Roman Reigns, the Raw after Mania. He does the cool ass like does the fucking gun point and then Roman spears him. That's badass as fuck. You have the fucking historic like John Cena like match at WrestleMania where it's just a fucking mental trip of like John Cena's entire career. It's like fucking NWO scene. It's like what the fuck is going on?
it's
The Fiend stuff in general, like the Firefly Funhouse. There's so many incredible moments, and it's just like the range. It's the range. Not a lot of wrestlers could fucking maintain that sort of streak. So yeah, I get it. He probably wasn't the most exciting wrestler, at least not towards the end. But like the outreach and the just it's just insane. It's just absolutely insane.
I don't want to make this a burial, right? Not on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is a phenomenal wrestler. But carrying cross, how the fuck did you not learn from Bray Wyatt? That's my fucking question. You tried to beat Sean O'Haire, you failed. You could have just asked Bray Wyatt to help you, mate. Like, I don't mean to be me, but I'm just sat here thinking, fucking carrying cross tried to be this like type of I'm not telling you what you already know type thing, but he
Yeah.
fucking failed massively, and now no one talks about him because he left WWE and he's on the Indies, flourishing. Well, not flourishing. He's doing all right on the Indies.
He's fuck off as he flourishes.
he, he's doing all right on the Indies, but no one is talking about him, which is just mental. I don't mean mean to Carrion. He's again another person who does a great Jesse Ventura impression, and that's all I'm gonna say. Because if I say he's a nice person, Ash is going to throw a bottle at me. But like, it's just, why did you? How did you not? How the fuck did you not learn? But yeah, Bray Wyatt, yeah, Bray Wyatt, phenomenal man.
But yeah, like essentially the promos and the characterization fundamentally is elite, and yeah, we can always be, we'll always be glowing while talking about Bray Wyatt, and it's just important to do. But yeah, um, mate, this has been a depressing episode of this has been a depressing review of NXT.
I
Fucking
mean,
hell.
to be fair, half the wrestlers either retire young because of neck injuries or fucking die. Like, I'm not saying it's like watching old wrestling from the 80s and then you go, "Where's this wrestler? Dead. Where's this wrestler? Murderer. Where's this wrestler? Sex offender." And it's like, what the
Yeah, like
fuck?
it is depressing, but it's just the power of hindsight, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, fortunately, Bray Wyatt debuts next week,
Oh,
and we get to see a lot of the early kind of makings of the Bray Wyatt character. But yeah, and then Notice how the quality is about to immediately turn down from Chris Hero to a Jinder Mahal match, and he's facing Derek Bateman. And I see at the time I was a big fan of Derek Bateman, and up until he left TNA, I was really up until he kind of left WWE in weird circumstances. I was a really big fan of EC3. I was really big fan of Derek Bateman. Obviously, time doesn't look too fondly upon him, and now he doesn't even get booked in NWA anymore. So, what he fucked up his own career. But especially at this time, he's nothing. He's absolutely nothing. He has no interesting characterization. He is occasionally funny, but only in a good pairing. This this Derek Bateman is fucking shit. The only good thing about him is he has that shit jobber theme that I adore, and he still has the 1% finisher. But everything else about him is pretty rough. And then he's put in the ring against Jinder Mahal, who, yes, Jinder Mahal is the former world champion, by the way, is the early bad guy in early NXT. I get it. But also, they wrestle a shit by the numbers match where Jinder Mahal wins and keeps the submission locked in. But obviously, because they did a run in earlier, Derek Bateman just has to sit in the fucking Colossus or whatever it's called when Jinder Mahal does it. But yeah,
Nothing.
it is a shame, but the fucking quality, the quality of the show does go drastically down when this is the next match.
Nothing to say. You can move swiftly on.
Yeah, then we get the main event, which is obviously
Yeah.
comes off the back of what came earlier with the Camacho and Hunico attacking Seth Rollins after the bell. We get Michael McGillicuddy and his essays, Camacho and Hunico, taking on Tyson Kidd, Seth Rollins, and Bo Dallas.
His
And obviously
amigos.
the joke here is the simple matter of fact is first I was taking the piss about how ridiculous
The render.
the characterization is of Hunico. Like, is he a fucking GTA San Andreas character? Like, fucking, come on. Come on.
WWE always on the button.
Why is he depicted as, he's just a thug, he is. And equally, JR just despises him wearing the bandana. Because he has like a white bandana over his head. And JR's like, fucking take it off. Take that fucking bandana off. Right, the entire time on commentary. And like Camacho's he's not even sniffed Mexico, you know? But he's also in a wife beater, fucking trying to look scary. Like it's just he's fucking just ridiculous. And so obviously the joke goes that Michael McGillicuddy, he thinks he's got the pass. So he's like, listen up, me and my essays are going to beat you up, Puta. Can I say Puta? Like fucking the whitest guy alive, essentially is how I'm characterizing Michael McGillicuddy here. He's the whitest guy alive with his Mexican friends.
The
Like,
white.
it's just
He's the guy who brings coleslaw to the hangout.
he brings that delicious potato salad. But like it's just, hey, hombres, how's it going, my fellow essays? Like, dude, you're embarrassing yourself. What's good, guys?
I know it would be slightly racist.
You can call me Jesus. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up.
I know it would be slightly racist, but get him in a poncho. Like having him in a poncho with a sombrero, pretending to be like he's part of the gang.
Look, I'll have you know, I am 1/8 Mexican.
I did my 23andMe, and it says I'm 0.8% Mexican.
But that's how it. Basically, that's how it looks, and I'm simply just mocking. I'm simply just mocking the fact of like, why are they dressed as like basically we're just shy of putting them like Deuce and Domino and fucking lawnmowers. Like, you taking the piss? Or the Mexicals? Was it the Mexicals?
The Mexicans are almost, yeah, the Mexicans.
Oh yeah.
Deuce
Like,
and Domino
you're
were
taking the
Italians,
piss.
I believe.
Ah well.
Oh no, they weren't. They were
WWE,
they
of
were
course.
they were 1950s Americans, I believe. If I might,
Yeah,
because they had that.
but don't know why I've essentially just called for Michael McGillicuddy to become Kerwin White.
Bucket.
But obviously, Kerwin White is kind of funny in its own weird way because obviously it's Chavo Guerrero. So yeah. Anyways,
Ooh,
there's been a
Chavo.
little side tangent. Taking on Tyson Kidd, Seth Rollins, and Bo Dallas. Um, Honestly, the only bit I actually really want to talk about is there was just a fucking sick bit of technical wrestling with Tyson Kidd and Hunico, where Hunico gets Tyson and Kidd up in the like gory special, kind of in the submission, and then rolls it into a backslide, which I've never seen before and looks fucking sick. And then they kind of just catch themselves holding as Tyson Kidd like holds himself up. It's just a cool display of strength and technical ability. And this match is perfectly fine as well. Like I said, everyone pretty much shines other than Camacho, who's shit. But everyone shines other than Camacho. And the heels win after McGillicuddy hits the McGillicutter and, essentially steals the victory. And McGillicuddy, I say what you want about him. He's really good at looking like an absolute fucking arsehole when he's just got that shit eating grin that when he wins, he's just like fuck you. He's good. He is very good. I still want him to use the perfect plex, but he's got this shit finisher for the rest of the time. So fuck me, I guess. But no, look, it was a fun main event, and I will never complain when Tyson Kidd's on our screen. I think Bo Dallas gets the least amount of kind of intrigue with this personally, but Tyson Kidd, Seth Rollins as well. They are the stars, and everyone else is just there to kind of facilitate them. You got anything on this match?
I was a big fan of bloody what's it right? Big fan of Michael McGillicuddy fucking being the whitest guy ever. I don't know why it's just when I imagine fucking it's like LAX but you order off Timu. Like the original LAX that is not the one with Santana and Ortiz, like Homicide and Hernandez and Conan. I guess Michael McGillicuddy in this sense will be the Conan, but nah. But I fucking I'm now on board with this team of McGillicuddy and his hombres. Um,
White boy in his own brace.
White pain his hombres. Don't tempt me. I will put up a universe mod and fucking book that.
Yeah,
But
I.
I fucking love it.
It's a
Like,
fun main event though, essentially.
yeah.
Like it's a weird thing I will say about about like NXT is as they're trying to figure out the formats, right? Initially there were like 3 matches minimum. You'd have 2 squash matches and a fairly sizable main event. But like now, as the shows have gone on, now we get more matches and it's still a long main event. So like a lot of it was okay, here's the opening promo. Here's the opening match. Here's the promo segment setting up who's going to debut next week. Oh, here's a 2-minute match as the person we set up last week's going to come out. But now we're kind of like finding the little balance. And equally, I think the most interesting bits of this for me first, just giving Seth Rollins and Tyson Kidd and McGillicuddy, giving them time to wrestle and time to move. See, I would really like Hunico, but Hunico he doesn't wrestle like he does as like Cinta de Oro or Sin Cara. So like, I get it, he is a heel and he's gonna wrestle the like brawly kind of style. But fuck me, it would have been way more interesting if he actually did. So that's the only reason. Like, I still think he's good fundamentally, but also, and my final piece is just saying I'm really excited to see the women's division slowly progress as well. I think there's a lot of kind of like early gems. Like I don't know, I'll because you have the early factions as well. You have Summer Rae who fucking starts the beautiful fierce females, and that's how Sasha Banks kind of comes on board. I'm fairly sure. And we start to see once again the blueprints of the stars who are going to eventually take over the fucking world. So that bit to me is always the exciting part about watching NXT, and it's why we had to stop watching ECW because at that point, the only thing I'm seeing is my car go into a fucking tree without outrageously shit, and nothing happens. But fucking, uh, it's so nice to see something with the potential to grow and not see something that's treated with contempt. That's the most exciting bit for me. There's so many cool wrestlers that show up at NXT. There's so many. It's so nice to see something grow, because this is what ECW should have fucking been, but it wasn't, because Vince hated it, but still did it. And yeah, but hey, we're not doing ECW, doing NXT. I'm zen. I'm happy. I'm content. But yeah, that's NXT episode 3. Hope you enjoyed it, and obviously join us next week for episode 4.